Welcome into the Wisconsin Live Desk this Friday. It is August 22nd, 12:30. I'm Haley Spittler. I know I'm a newer face on the Wisconsin Live Desk. I just want to take a second to reintroduce myself. I am the new Fox 6 Wake Up breaking news anchor, so you'll see me on air doing that in the mornings. Then I'll try and hop on the Wisconsin Live Desk pretty often. Today I'm actually with you for both hours, so we'll get to know each other pretty well. I do actually quickly want to get out to D.C. Trump is currently speaking in the Oval Office. He's made a few announcements about FIFA as well as some renovations, talking about crime in D.C. I'm going to summarize all of that for you when we come back, but I want to catch Trump while he's talking, so we're going to head that way.
About the fact that yesterday a big U.S. factory was hit in a Russian airstrike in Ukraine. What's your reaction to that?
I told him I'm not happy about it, and I'm not happy about anything having to do with that war. I settled 7 wars, and actually, if you think about pre-wars, add 3 more, so it would be 10. I thought this would be in the middle of the pack in terms of difficulty. No, I'm not happy about anything about that war. Nothing. Not happy at all. We'll see what happens. I think over the next 2 weeks, we're going to find out which way it's going to go, and I better be very happy.
Mr. President, I just heard a very good call with Prime Minister Carney of Canada yesterday morning.
Yes.
Actually, Canada is taking away some retaliatory tariffs.
He's removing his tariffs, yeah.
Exactly.
He's removing his retaliatory tariffs, which I thought was nice. And we're going to have another call soon. Okay. Yeah, we had a very good call.
You're getting closer towards an agreement on trade?
I like him. You know, look, I'm fighting for the United States. Canada and Mexico have taken a lot of our business over the years, over 25, 30 years. Especially during the Biden years. They took a lot of our business, and it's basically all coming back into the United States now. Well, hot as a pistol, and it's coming back in. Because of tariffs and the incentives we give, it's coming back. And it's impossible, I think, for another country to stop it. And we are working on something. We want to be very good to Canada. I like Carney a lot. I think he's a good person. And we had a very good talk yesterday, so I think it'll be good.
Mr. President, I have a question about the search of Ambassador Bolton's home. The Vice President recently just did an interview saying that it's about classified documents, but that there's also broad concern about him. What are the concerns?
Well, I haven't spoken to Pam and the group yet, but I will be. I saw that just like everybody else. I try and stay out of that stuff. I'm allowed to be, and I'm chief law enforcement officer, believe it or not. You know, I don't like to go around saying that, but I am. That's the position. But I purposely don't want to really get involved in it. I'm not a fan of John Bolton. I thought he was a sleazebag, actually. And he suffers major Trump derangement syndrome, but so do a lot of people, and they're not being affected by anything we do. I don't know anything about it. I just saw that. I'll find out about it. But if you believe the news, which I do, I guess his house was raided today. But my house was raided also. Called Mar-a-Lago. They went through everything they could, including my young son's room and my wife's area. They went through her drawers, as the expression goes. They went through everything you can imagine. And when she came back, she said, she's very neat, you know, she's meticulous. And she looked and she said, whoa, this wasn't the way that she had it. So, you know, so I know the feeling. It's not a good feeling. Thank you.
Mr. President, how long will you give Putin?
A couple of weeks. We're going to figure it out. We'll find it.
Do you think you'll have to intervene at some point?
Look, it takes 2 to tango. You understand that. I wanted to have a meeting with those 2. I could have been at the meeting, but a lot of people think that nothing's going to come out of that meeting. You have to be there. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. But we're going to see. In the meantime, people continue to die. But I've solved 7 of them where they were in wars for 31, 35, and 37 years. We had 3 of them that were for more than 30 years, Johnny, and I got them solved. And we solved one that could have been a nuclear war with India and Pakistan. That was getting ready to be a nuclear war. I solved them all. And this one, I thought we would have had it done by now, but it's more difficult. There's a lot of anger, a lot of hatred. There's a tremendous amount of hatred there. So. But we'll see what happens. I think in 2 weeks we'll know which way I'm going. Because I'm going to go one way or the other. And they'll learn which way I'm going.
Mr. President, if I got 2 questions for you. One on FIFA, the other one on DC. Can you talk about the economic impact that FIFA will have in these cities, and what's your message to the mayors to get their cities prepared, not only the beautification process, but also the safety aspect?
Well, Los Angeles is an example. You know, it's poorly run. We have a mayor there that can't even get permits to the people that lost their houses. Lee Zeldin got every permit. The hardest permit is the federal permit. Within 20 days, every single permit was there for the people to build their houses. But people are writing us and they're saying they won't give us. The mayor is incompetent. The governor is incompetent. You know, Gavin. I know Gavin very well. He's an incompetent guy with a good line of bullshit, and he doesn't get the job done. And frankly, those people want to build their houses. It's terrible. They could have been built. Some of them could have been built already. But think of it: the federal government that has the most complex part, and it's the most complex environmental thing to do. We got it. Everybody had it within 30 days. And they're not even close to getting their permits. And now they're talking about taking some of those sites and building low-income housing on them. These are high-end neighborhoods. And I'm all for low-income housing. I built a lot of low-income housing. I know all about 236. I know every program that there is in the government. I used every one of them. I know more about low-income housing than probably almost anybody. And it's great. It's fine. It's wonderful. But you don't build it in Pacific Palisades. You don't build it there, and you don't build it in the other areas that burned down. So they're talking about putting up low-income housing. And you talk about riots. They're going to have riots if that happens because you're taking the people's property away. They want to build their houses, and they're unable to get permits from the mayor and from the governor. And that's a terrible thing. But, and let me tell you, if I didn't send in the troops in Los Angeles, Johnny wouldn't be in Los Angeles. You wouldn't be having your World Cup there. I sent in the troops and we kept it. And even the police commissioner, the sheriff and the police commissioner, they all said the same thing. They said, we could have never handled what was happening. You saw that, you were there. He said, we could have never handled what was happening. And then you hear Gavin Newsom, after it's all quelled, you hear Newsom get up and said, we could have done this for ourselves. No, they couldn't have. And if they could have, I wouldn't have taken the chance either.
Okay, my second question is on crime prevention. Would you be open to expanding the national concealed carry to apply to D.C. like it does in other states like Texas?
Yeah. Well, they have it in some states and they feel strongly about it. As you know, I'm in favor of it. People have to protect themselves. I'm a Second Amendment person, very simply. People have to be able to protect themselves. Especially like in Washington, you walk down the street, a guy comes up and slugs you. He's got a pistol in his hand. You can be tough, you can be in great shape, you can be a powerful person, or you can be a guy that weighs 100 pounds with a gun in your hand.
Right.
And I'll bet on the guy with the gun 100% of the time, right? And so you need protection. So I'm a Second Amendment person all the way. Yeah, please.
President Trump, you said this morning that you're working with Congress to get $2 billion to help clean up DC. Have you had any conversations with Mike Johnson and John Thune about where they're going to get that money from?
Which money?
You said this morning that you're going to get $2 billion from Congress to help clean up DC.
Yeah, I've spoken to Mike Johnson. I've spoken to John Thune, the Senate, the House, and I think it's going to be very easy to get. It's going to be not a lot of money. I wouldn't even know where to spend the number that you mentioned, but it's going to be money to beautify the city. Yeah, they're ready. Everybody wants to save D.C. In one way, it's the easiest. The violence was more than any other city in the country, actually, by far. It may have been more than any other city in the world. If you could think, we looked at some of the worst cities in the world, it was worse. And that's why it angers me to see the mayor saying about how they have it on the slide. Not on the slide, it was worse than ever. Yeah, we have no problem getting that money. That money will come out of Congress. I think it'll be even bipartisan.
And is the plan
I mean, I would imagine Democrats would vote for that one.
Is the plan to get it before the September 30 spending deadline on the Hill?
Well, I don't know if there is a deadline, because if I declare a national emergency, which this was, that ends the deadline. So, I mean, I keep seeing about a 30-day deadline, of which we have 22 days left or something. But if I think we're in great shape here, that's one thing. But if I don't, I'm going to just say it's a national emergency. And if I have a national emergency, I can keep the troops there as long as I want. If people are not going to want to have the troops on, in 30 days, it's one thing to get them out. It's another thing to keep them out for a long period of time. You've got to train people. You can't do this. You can't bop people over the head. And a lot of those people are in courts right now, going to court. They're going to go to jail for a long time. So that's going to take more than 30 days. But if I have to, I'll declare a national emergency. which I don't think I'll have to do. Yeah.
Mr. President, can I ask you about Russia? You said in 2 weeks you'll know whether you go
Yeah,
one
I think I'll
way or
know.
the
I
other.
think I'll know the attitude of Russia and, frankly, of Ukraine. It takes two.
What are the 2 ways you can go at the end of 2 weeks then?
Well, then I'm going to make a decision as to what we do,
Or
and it's going to be a very important decision. And that's whether or not it's massive sanctions or massive tariffs or both. Or do we do nothing and say it's your fight? Look, I would have never been in this war if I were president. You wouldn't have had this war. It was never going to happen. This was caused by stupid people that fought. And you know, people say, well, how do we know? Because for 4 years, it was never even a subject. And Vladimir knew, and you see his picture right here. It was nice that he sent, but Vladimir knew very strongly we wouldn't have stood for it. It wouldn't have happened. 100% wouldn't have happened, but it did happen. And now they're losing from 5 to 7 young kids. Think of it, you're a parent and your son is leaving. He's Russian or he's Ukrainian. And he's leaving and they're waving goodbye. Nice, beautiful kid. Nice crew cut, all set. He wants to be a soldier. And goes there, first week he has his head blown off. And he's no different than you people, me. And it doesn't matter where. I mean, I solved a problem in the Congo that was vicious. Rwanda and the Congo, the Republic of the Congo. And they were fighting for 31 years, and it was machetes. People were getting their heads chopped off. That was going on for 31 years. I got it solved. You saw it. They came to the White House, we signed an agreement. It was amazing. People can't believe we got it done. I love to stop killing. I really do. People thought it would be just the opposite. Hillary Clinton said, oh, he'll get us into a war. No, I'm getting everybody else out of wars.
Are you saying there's a real possibility then that you do nothing if Putin doesn't
You
come
are
to the
just
table?
joining us. We've been listening in as President Trump has been answering questions from the media here in the Oval Office. Now, the point of this original meeting in the Oval Office was to make an announcement about FIFA, actually. The World Cup coming up next year, 2026. It's the 23rd edition of the soccer tournament, and the U.S. is one of 3 host countries. It's going to be in the United States, it's going to be in Mexico, and it's going to be in Canada. And the big announcement really came out that the FIFA draw is going to take place at the Kennedy Center on December 5th. So if you're a big soccer fan, you might be wondering what countries are playing what countries. We're going to get that answer on December 5th. Before we tuned in, we actually saw the head of FIFA present President Trump with his ticket to the finals. So we know that whether or not he's going, he is certainly invited to go and see some soccer matches. But President Trump there answering a lot of questions on various topics. We heard him talk about the crime in D.C. Obviously, the National Guard has been deployed. Before we tuned in, he also said that Chicago and New York could be his next targets as far as kind of going into cities and trying to make them safer and crime. We've seen him kind of attempt to do a police takeover in D.C., so we'll have to keep our eyes and see if he does go out to Chicago or New York in the future. Also talking there about Ukraine and Russia, saying it might be a few more weeks until we notice any announcements or potential peace deals made there in that war. We saw him meet with both Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, earlier this week and last week as he tries to mediate peace in that war that's been going on now for 2.5 years. Also, speaking of the Kennedy Center, which is where that FIFA World Draw is going to happen in December 5th, he announced earlier today that it's going to be getting some renovations. And also, speaking of renovations, we've learned that Trump is going to be making a few more changes to the White House. Taking a live look right there in D.C. right now. Sounds like he's going to be, he said, doing some detailed renovations, fixing some things that are broken, including some floors, but mainly redoing the Lincoln bathroom. So I'm sure that some people might not be too happy about that. That project was done in November of 2005, which was kind of restored to the strong period decor derived and adapted from the historical evidence of the Lincoln era. So it sounds like he wants to modernize that, do some renovations there. I do really quickly, before we head out and take a quick break, want to bring up some local news here. Milwaukee This is a distribution site for some free cleanup kits. I believe that we are expecting to see Mayor Cavalier Johnson take a tour, kind of figure out how the Salvation Army has been helping out here. So we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to head out here, see if there he is, Mayor Cavalier Johnson, going to take that tour. So we will bring you that live here on the Wisconsin Live Desk as soon as we're back in 2 minutes.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. Now 12:47. I am Haley Spittler. I'm going to keep introducing myself just in case you're just tuning in. I know I'm a newer face here to the Wisconsin Live Desk, but I just got to Milwaukee a few weeks ago joining the FOX6 team, and I'll be kind of both on air in the Wake Up team as their breaking news anchor, as well as here on the Wisconsin Live Desk occasionally. And I'm with you today this Friday for both hours. So we'll be here until 2:30. I do want to go ahead and head outside here in Milwaukee. You can see the mayor as well as Congresswoman Gwen Moore about to take some questions. They have been touring one of the free cleaning kit sites that is available through the Salvation Army. We talked about this actually earlier this week a little bit. But these cleaning kits are so important if you have seen damage to your home due to the historic flooding that we experienced just a few weeks ago. The cleaning kits, they are packaged in 5-gallon buckets, so you can actually see those behind the mayor there. And they include essential items for safe cleanup. That is like laundry detergent, cleaning products, rubber gloves, microfiber towels, face masks, and that is so important because when you have water damage, you are talking about sewage, bacteria, harmful chemicals that you do not want to be breathing in. So please wear those face masks as you continue to clean up from this flooding. They also have mosquito spray. We were just hearing yesterday about how bad the mosquitoes are right now because of the large amounts of sitting water that have been here now for weeks in Milwaukee because of the flooding. And of course, they're also providing garbage bags as well. Again, these tools are just designed to help residents begin the cleanup process safely and effectively. We are expecting the mayor and the congresswoman to take questions from the media. I believe they're working on getting that to us shortly, and we are going to listen in. But hey, we can show you something that's a little bit more exciting than that empty box we were staring at. Really exciting today. Jackie Joyner-Kersee is in Milwaukee. And if you're thinking to yourself, that name, it seems familiar, It probably is. She's an Olympic legend, okay? She is a former track and field athlete who competed in both the heptathlon and the long jump, winning 3 golds, a silver, and 2 bronze Olympic medals at 4 different Olympic Games. Think about how good of an athlete you have to be to not just qualify for multiple Olympics, but to medal in multiple Olympics. She is very impressive. We know there she's visiting the Holy Redeemer Christian Academy. She was taking a little bit of a tour earlier, and so we're going to kind of continue to monitor this, see what exactly that she's doing here in Milwaukee, and if she starts talking to the members of the media, of course, we will bring that to you live. But now we're going to jump back to that cleanup kit site. I believe the mayor has begun talking, so let's listen in as he answers questions from the media.
Salvation Army has been an incredible partner with the health department and the city, working to make sure that folks in Milwaukee that have been impacted by the floods get the chance to get their hands on cleaning supplies to make sure that they are taking health and safety into account as they go and clean up their properties from some of the flooding that's happened. This is important because though the flooding may cause issues where mold spores may spread, where there's sewage in there that needs to be deep cleaned so that there's not disease spread as well. So we're really proud of the partnership that we've developed here, and I know the citizens that we've been able to interact with here are very grateful to have these sort of resources that are available to them too. So again, just another example of the power of partnerships coming together to tackle the big challenges that we have here in Milwaukee. Certainly this flood is an example of that. So I'm really happy to be here with our partners, and at this point I'll pass it over to Representative Moore, who may have more comments to say.
You want to pass the microphone?
You're okay.
We're okay. You want to pass the microphone?
It's kind of hooked up to me.
Just really proud to be here with the mayor of Milwaukee to discuss the tremendous effort, the tremendous success of a collaboration. You know, sorry that it took a flood to really demonstrate, lift up, and elucidate the assets that were quickly brought together. I've gotten many calls already, people wanting and needing relief from FEMA. The mold, the mildew, the damage from sewerage is not going to wait on FEMA to issue its resources. So we are so grateful to the Salvation Army, the city of Milwaukee, the county, the 211 network that has been so effective. I see my son, Representative Moore Omokunde, the state of Wisconsin, everybody pulling together to be able to do this. We are all neighbors. We're in it all together, and until the federal response comes in, I'm just going to say I'm really proud of this response. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Moore. And I will say this again, and the representative has been a strong advocate for Milwaukee since these floods have happened, and I'm really grateful that she and her colleagues in a bipartisan way in Congress, both of our United States senators and all 8 members in the House of Representatives, including Representative Moore, signed onto a bipartisan letter urging President Trump's administration to deliver the resources that we need here in Milwaukee to help not just our city, but the other communities in our region and in our state, and property owners, our citizens, to recover from the flood too. So thank you, Representative Moore.
Thank you.
Wanted to pass over to see if Tyler Weber from the Health Department or Captain Johnson, if you guys have anything to say as well.
Just again, thanks to all the partners involved, all the donations. Thank you to the mayor and congresswoman for being here. Again, just to echo, this has been an incredible collaboration, and the city has a long road to recovery. So this is just the beginning, and we're going to continue working together to support those that are most needing their city.
I definitely echo that. Thank you. We didn't know what to anticipate when we started handing out kits as far as the volume that will be coming to our location, but as you can see, many hands have made this a lot easier to be able to distribute as many kits as possible, going through hundreds and hundreds of kits in every day thus far that we've been here. And although it's going to go to Saturday at this location, the hope is that we continue these efforts, continue to raise funds to be able to get people the services and their needs met throughout this area.
And what was your name again?
Captain Chanel John.
It does look like we might have just lost the audio to this press conference, so we'll see if we can get that fixed. But in the meantime, again, this is about those cleanup kits. This is a distribution site that the Salvation Army has created this week to help out. Because again, when you're cleaning up from the flood, it's not a pretty situation. You really want to make sure that you are protecting yourself. So they've been giving these out. You can go today until 3 p.m. And then you can do it again tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They're completely free. We just heard from the Salvation Army that every day they've been giving out plenty of these supply kits that come in big buckets there. We even saw some cars behind the mayor arrive and get their cleanup distribution kit during that live shot. Again, what's inside them? We have laundry detergent, cleaning products, rubber gloves, microfiber towels, those face masks. I know you probably got familiar with them during the pandemic. You want to put them on again when you're cleaning up from a flood because there's just sewage, there's bacteria, there's chemicals that you do not want to be breathing in. You're already cleaning up from a flood. You don't want to make yourself sick on top of that as well. Again, there's also mosquito spray because there's a lot of sitting water from a flood. So now you might be noticing you're getting bitten a lot more. That's why. I know our weather experts were talking about that yesterday, as well as garbage bags. And speaking of cleaning up from the flood, I know that the drop-off pickup services have been extended now through August 31st. You can see the addresses there on your screen in both 3879 West Lincoln and 6660 North Industrial. These are open Tuesday through Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. This is a spot to come and to drop off kind of those flood-damaged items as you clean up. I do want to remind you, though, if you have that flood damage, document it first before you get rid of it. We want to document everything right now so that potentially if that FEMA funding comes through, you're able to qualify for it. One of the first things FEMA is going to ask for is proof of how that flood impacted you, and having those photos of damage is going to be crucial, especially as we're now days and weeks removed from the storm that brought those floodwaters, and we're starting to kind of recover a little bit. We need to make sure that we continue to document. So if and when those FEMA funds become available, that we are able to qualify and apply with those photos of the damage that we have. Well, I'm going to bring you back to me over here in the Wisconsin live desk, and then we're actually going to head out to Maryland. Let's head there right now if I can pull it up. You might be thinking, why are we looking at a random home? We are not. This has actually been a big story all morning long, and you might have heard me. We're in the Oval Office. Trump referring to when his home, Mar-a-Lago, was raided by the FBI last year, talking about kind of what that experience was like for his and his family. Well, that was because of what happened this morning in this home in Maryland. This is the home of John Bolton. If that name sounds familiar, he's a former Trump administration member. He was Trump's third national security advisor during his first term in office. He only lasted in the role about 17 months before some kind of contention arose between Bolton and the president. But yeah, this morning, his home was raided by the FBI's. As all we kind of know right now, it's all part of an investigation into the handling of classified information. And not only was it just his home here in Maryland that was raided, which we're taking a live look at right now, but also his office in D.C. was raided. We saw actually FBI members come out with bags filled with evidence inside. So it's been kind of a big morning. But yeah, again, just to kind of remind you, this was Trump's third national security advisor during his first administration. And then Bolton actually became critical over Trump's handling of Iran, Afghanistan, and North Korea, ultimately, again, stepping away from the role after 17 months. He then went on to make headlines, writing a book about that time in the government, which was something that Trump officials certainly argued disclosed classified information. And then earlier this year, the two were in headlines again as President Trump canceled Bolton's security clearances and details, which the advisor had been given by former President Joe Biden because of death threats from Iran. We do want to say no arrests or charges have been made. We heard from J.D. Vance earlier today that And this raid has nothing to do with the fact that John Bolton has been outspoken against the president. That, again, it just has to do with that investigation into some classified information that might have been mishandled. You can see it's still an active scene here in Maryland as we are watching FBI agents exit the house, maybe put some things away in vehicles. So certainly a story that we will continue to monitor here at the Wisconsin Live Desk. It's been a busy morning outside this home in Maryland, as well as outside of John Bolton's Washington, D.C. office. Hey, I'm going to take a quick break here at the Wisconsin Live Desk. I'm going to check the feeds, see what else we can bring you this Friday afternoon. It's actually a beautiful Friday afternoon. Maybe we'll talk weather when we come back, because look at this 6-day planner here in Milwaukee. Sunshine, 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 sunshine. We love to see it. All right, we'll be right back in 2 minutes.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk this Friday afternoon. Now it is 1:02. I am Haley Spittler. I know I'm a new friendly face, so all day long, every time we come back from break, I am going to introduce myself. Again, I just joined the FOX6 team a couple of weeks ago, and hopefully, if I don't do too bad of a job, you will see me here on the Wisconsin Live Desk often. I will also be covering breaking news for Wake Up, so I should be pretty busy every day here at FOX6, and I'll be busy today because I am on this desk with you for both hours. So we will have your live local and national, sometimes even international news today until 2:30. And first, though, we are going to head out in Milwaukee because I mentioned it earlier, and it's a pretty exciting thing today. Coming to Milwaukee, we have Jackie Joyner-Kersee. She was just signing autographs. I know it's a little bit hectic here as we move around the room. She's touring Redeemer Christian Academy. There she is. She's hugging some people there. If this name sounds really familiar to you, it's because she's what the kids would call a GOAT, the greatest of all time, maybe, when it comes to track and field. She has won 3 golds, 1 silver, and 2 bronze Olympic medals at 4 different Olympic Games. And you can see she's busy. She's on the move here. She is touring Redeemer Christian Academy. We obviously have our photojournalist there. We're going to find out some more information as to why exactly she's in Milwaukee. But hey, when a legend comes to your city, you don't ask questions. You just go. I personally love watching the Olympics, so I love that we have not just an Olympian here, but a decorated Olympian who has clearly proven that she was at the top of her game. And today she's in Milwaukee, which, good news, the weather treating her so well today. We're taking a live look outside right now, City Center. I usually call this the Toy Story sky. I just think it's so picturesque and beautiful when you have that bright blue with those clouds that almost look like someone painted them. Yeah, we're in for a treat. We are just gonna have a nice, comfortable weekend, which I really feel like we have earned after a lot of the heat and the humidity and, of course, the flooding. I know we are potentially looking at a little bit of rainfall this evening, but otherwise, get outside this weekend. Honestly, if you are going outside, expect it to be crowded because people are really gonna wanna go and just soak up the sunshine. You can see today we are mostly sunny. 80-degree high there, and then this weekend, let's see, 78, 72, maybe some early morning showers tomorrow, and then it's just sunshine from here on out. Monday, it's actually going to feel like fall. 68 degrees for your high with a 54-degree low, which some of you guys might be staring at this 6-day planner going, no, that's too cold. Not me. I love fall. Honestly, 60s are my favorite weather, maybe even like high 50s. Just a little sweatshirt. I'm so happy. I have to ask Delaney, our producer in the booth, what's your favorite season? Is this kind of speaking to you the way it's speaking to me?
My favorite season, definitely fall.
Definitely fall. So you're excited for Monday, the 68
yeah, I'm
degrees.
excited for Monday.
We love to hear it, Delaney. I'm going to try and talk to Delaney often today because I love bringing her into the Wisconsin Live Desk. I'm also working on getting a camera so you guys can see the face behind the voice for Delaney. Hey, we are monitoring a few things on the feeds right now. This is North Carolina. We are waiting for Governor Josh Stein to come to this podium. He is expected to talk about the damage caused by Hurricane Erin. This is out of Dare County. We know he's also meeting with emergency responders. That might be what he's doing right now as we wait to hear from him. Hurricane Erin should hopefully be a thing of the past now. I know we were trying to just get through Friday, but it's certainly a storm that, while it didn't make landfall, still had a ton of impacts on the coast. I know we were worried about potentially strong surges, flooding, just a lot of wind damage that can come to the coast. And Josh Stein, the governor who took over earlier this year in January, he's been busy because western North Carolina was hit so hard by Hurricane Helene. So now not only is he dealing with the Hurricane Helene damage in western North Carolina, the Asheville, kind of Buncombe County areas, but now he's on the coast where there might be some damage caused by Hurricane Erin. So we are monitoring that. We will bring that to you live. Some other things we've been monitoring. This is Mayor Eric Adams out of New York. He is currently speaking. I think it has to do with the former mayor's team is dealing with some criminal, not the best allegations that are being made against the former mayor's team. But I want to see, actually, I'm going to try and pull up. We've got some exciting developments coming out of Milwaukee, and our Olympic champion, I think she might actually be speaking now. So let me work on getting that because I want to hear from Jackie. She is talking. Let's get up her audio levels, and we will listen in and learn more together.
You bridging that gap. Divided with health inequities, but making a difference, and more importantly, to celebrate, the 25 years. And I didn't know what to expect. I was here 2019, and wow, time has flown. But anyway, it's an honor.
What does it mean to you to be able to, see all the, go to these schools with these kids and, their faces light up when they see you, and what does that mean to you?
What it means to me to see young people light up, young people who weren't even born when I was doing what I was trying to do, but somehow the heart and the spirit, you're able to make a connection, and that connection is, being able to see a smile on their face and the curiosity, but more importantly, pouring into them and with prayer and hopes that they will become the best that they can become.
Is there anything else that I didn't ask that you'd like to add?
No.
Thank you.
That was us hearing there from Jackie Joyner-Kersee, the Olympic legend. She said it was an honor to be in Milwaukee. Ma'am, it is an honor for Milwaukee to have you, just a decorated track and field athlete. Oh, look at this. It's so cute. She's taking photos. I mean, when you meet an Olympian, don't you want a photo with her? I would do the exact same thing. Because, again, I just love the the Olympics, and I love meeting people who are at the top of their game. A couple of more things. Again, we're just going to continue to monitor this. We are waiting for Governor Josh Stein of North Carolina to talk about the damage done because of Hurricane Aaron. But I also, Delaney, you know what I think we should talk about? I think we should talk about FOX 1. This is really exciting for you guys watching. So FOX 1 just launched yesterday. This is a new streaming subscription service that is a kind of a combination of both live and on-demand content. Look at it, says we've got live goats. I was just talking about Jackie being a goat. I love that. So what can you find on FOX 1? You can find NASCAR, football, baseball, college hoops, but you can also find 24/7 news. That includes from Fox News, Fox Business, Fox Weather, of course, your live local Fox stations like us here at Fox 6. And then you're also going to be able to find Fox Entertainment TV shows and more. So that's things like Family Guy, Hell's Kitchen, The Masked Singer. I actually went on yesterday. I downloaded Fox 1 and I was like, what seasons of The Masked Singer are on here? Right now you can watch the entirety of season 12 and season 13. There are a couple different tiers as far as subscription costs, but you can see it right there, the standard tier, $19.99 per month. But if you're like, I just want to see if I like it, download it today because you get a free 7-day trial. If you are wondering how this is different from Fox Local, the streaming app that maybe you're watching us right now, the Wisconsin Live Desk on, that is going to continue to be free. That delivers your live, breaking, and local news from Fox stations. Nothing is changing with Fox Local. You just get even more now with Fox 1. Again, that's where you can find more of your Fox News, Fox Business, Fox Weather, and us there, so you could potentially just have a one-stop shop in Fox 1. But again, you get things like The Masked Singer. Delaney, do you watch The Masked Singer?
I do not. Do you?
Delaney! Well, good news. Delaney's going to get Fox 1, and she's going to be watching season 12 and 13. I have definitely watched here and there with The Masked Singer because I think it's so fun. I will say season 1, it was so obvious to me that Donny Osmond was on, and then I'm pretty sure that his sister Maria accidentally let it slip that he was on the show. But yeah, it's always fun when you can find somebody and know who it is. I will say I had the best time this last season because the day after The Masked Singer would air, I got to interview several of the celebrities. I got to interview Sheena Shea from Vanderpump Rules, who was always one of my faves. Let's see, I got to interview Erica James. She was a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I interviewed Flavor Flav, which was an interesting one for sure. Meg Donnelly, who maybe your kids would know from Zombies, the Disney franchise. So yeah, it's really cool the people that they can get on The Masked Singer. I also am curious, maybe I'll look it up. I'm going to take a break here in a second. I'm curious if Farmer Wants a Wife is on Fox Local. Delaney, do you watch Farmer Wants a Wife?
I've seen 1 or 2 episodes.
Yeah. I have unfortunately not been able to tune in as much as I would like to with Farmer Wants a Wife, so that's why I'm glad that we have Fox 1 because it's now available kind of at our fingertips. My friend Lauren, though, obsessed with it. She genuinely thinks it's so good. That's a show that follows multiple farmers who, you guessed it, want a wife. They're looking for love, which aren't we all? I love to hear that. Well, hey, we are going to take another quick break because we have some live local news coming up for you in just a few minutes. I believe we're actually going to get to go to a Mexican fiesta, so maybe start preparing your salsa dance moves and getting your appetite ready because Milwaukee, it's a fun weekend. And again, you got good weather for it. So we will be back here in just 2 minutes. Stick with us.
Wisconsin Live Desk.
Welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. It is now 1:15 this Friday afternoon. Again, I am Haley Spittler. I know I'm a familiar or an unfamiliar face. You're like, I might have never even seen this person before. It's because I just recently started here at Fox 6, and I'm so excited to be on the Wisconsin Live Desk today, and I'll actually be with you until 2:30, and I'm already in a good mood just getting ready for this next story. We are going to head outside. We're going to go to Milwaukee's lakefront because we're being joined by our very own Abril Preciado, who's at the Mexican Fiesta. Okay, Abril, tell me all about it. This sounds like an absolute blast.
Well, first of all, Haley, let me just tell you, I wish you guys could smell what we're smelling out here because we're just smelling a mixture of just delicious food around here. It's in the air. We're getting good vibes out here. A lot of people that are coming in, obviously, the grounds just opened here at noon. And we are seeing so far a really good crowd. We see lots of families, kids, people just kind of mingling around. And honestly, we've been out here for maybe 2 hours-ish around here, and we've been seeing that this is the prime area that we have been seeing most people at, and it's an area where we're seeing food stands, places to get beverages, and above all, let me show you guys the best part right here that really got our attention is this section right here from this business that are cooking some really good traditional meat. So I'll have you guys see how they're cooking it right now. They've been out here since earlier this morning. They were telling me that they were preparing the meat since last night. And let me tell you guys, it's espectacular, as we would say in Spanish. It's delicious. We're out here. We're going to give you guys a little look of how they're cooking it. It's very traditional right here. And we're here with the cook himself as well. ¿Nos podría decir su nombre, por favor?
Wilson Torres.
Wilson, his name is Wilson. ¿Y cuánto tiempo dura para poder cocinar esto?
Eso lleva un proceso de por ahí de 2 horas porque tocan fuego lento para que quede bien asada la carne.
So he says that it takes about 2 hours to cook this meat in order for the meat to have that nice crisp taste to it. We got a taste of it earlier today, and let me tell you guys, it's so good and it's so easy to take a bite off of it. ¿Qué es lo que le ha dicho la gente sobre el sabor de lo que está cocinando?
No, eso es un condimento colombiano que traemos acá para que disfruten el sabor. Y no, la gente muy contenta con la carne llanera.
Perfecto. He says that this is pretty much a really good taste that people are really enjoying. It's with, and it comes from a Colombian seasoning and style. So it's something definitely just to bring in the different diverse flavors that we have in our Latino community here in Mexican Fiesta. And they're right here. ¿Hasta cuándo van a estar aquí?
Yo creo que hasta el domingo por la noche.
Yes. He says that they will be here until Sunday. So if you guys are watching this here right now at the live desk, you guys have time to come on out and taste this delicious food, and it's among the many of them. Muchísimas gracias.
Oye, el sabor colombiano.
El sabor colombiano. He says the taste of Colombia.
Colombia.
Yes. So we're out here, and again, they're one of the several vendors out here that are pretty much cooking up great dishes out here. I want to say that that's one of the main things here at Mexican Fiesta is the food. There's so many delicious dishes out here that we're seeing. Besides the amazing music that we're hearing right now, we have a local band playing at the stage right behind us. We're right here at the power stage, I want to say, where we're seeing a performance. Earlier, we also saw folklore dancers performing. We've seen mariachis, and they have a list of several artists that will be performing just throughout the weekends, from top names like Leonardo Aguilar and other famous bands that are definitely big headliners that people are looking forward to seeing. Once again, we're just seeing a row of people. Let's see if we can find somebody to speak to.
Well, let's do it, Abril. Let's do it.
Yes. And you need to make your way out here too, Haley. I think it's definitely something worth coming out and experiencing for the first time.
Oh, I'm sold. I will be there.
Hi. Oh, let me see. But here I am. This is how it looks like when we're trying to speak to somebody out on the field. I wanted to ask you guys, would you guys be willing to letting us interview you guys?
Sure.
Perfect. What's your name?
Caden.
Aiden?
Caden.
Caden.
Yeah.
Do you mind telling me, is this your first time at Mexican Fiesta?
No, I was here last year.
And what made you come back?
Really just the atmosphere and the food.
Yes?
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to tonight or for today?
I was probably the food, really.
I'm telling you, it's the food.
Yeah.
What are you getting right now, or what are you in line for?
I'm gonna get some 4 steak tacos.
Nice. What are you getting, if you don't mind me asking?
Asada tacos, it's the same thing.
Yes? Oh, pretty much, yes. Are you guys from Milwaukee?
No, we're not.
Where are you guys from?
We're from Racine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear. You guys made the drive out here. You guys made it out.
Yeah.
How can you guys describe the vibe?
Just, I guess, uplifting, really.
Right? That's so good. Well, will you guys be out here till tonight for the performances that night, or?
I'm not sure. We're just playing it by how it goes.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys so much once again. Thank you so much for even speaking with me right now. So as mentioned, many people are out here for the great vibes, the atmosphere, and obviously the food. As we can see, there's many different vendors. This is just one portion of it. We have them throughout the whole festival grounds. As explained, we're just seeing many people coming out here, and I believe the crowd has gotten bigger just in the last, maybe 5 minutes since we started setting up. Again, lots of families, children, some people, and some children even wearing some of the traditional Mexican attire. We see some of the traditional dresses right here. Just a lot of great vibes, a lot of color, a lot of vibrancy, which is amazing. It almost makes me feel like I'm back in my hometown in Mexico at the summer festivals that I remember going up to. Exactly, Viva Mexico! But yeah, it gives me a sense of home. So I love that, and I love the vibes, and I love that a lot of people are enjoying it too.
Yes, absolutely, bro. This looks like a complete blast. My goodness, the food looks delicious. We did hear the music. I'm hoping you can hear me. I heard the music. I gotta know, what dance move? Can you demonstrate how we should be dancing to this music? You got a dance move for me, Abril? We're having fun on the Wisconsin Live Desk today.
I would need a partner for that. I kind of like the upbeat kind of music, like the Mexican dance. I think what you guys were hearing earlier, that's more of the what's it called, the Spanish rock kind of vibes. I don't know if my moves are too good with that, but well, you guys will see them later on.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, it's certainly crowded right now, just here at 123, but Mexican Fiesta happening right now at the lakefront. Abril, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, yes.
Well, we'll have more coming up for you later on Fox Local from Mexican Fiesta, and we have more coming up for you in just 2 minutes. We're going to take another really quick break, and then we're going to completely switch gears. We're going to stay local, but we're going to talk about the impacts again here of the flooding in Milwaukee. We heard Mayor Cavalier Johnson kind of talk about one of the distribution sites of those cleanup kits earlier in the show. Now we're going to head to an area that they can't even think about cleaning up because they're still so impacted by the flooding, saying they're still underwater. Our very own Ashley Sears should be joining us shortly. Again, it's going to be on the other side of the break coming up in just a few minutes.
Wisconsin Live Desk.
Welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. It is Haley Spittler still here with you again. I'll be with you actually all day long here on the Wisconsin Live Desk until 2:30. I know I'm a newer face here, so I just want to take a second to introduce myself. I am one of the newer members to Fox 6. I'll be being the wake-up breaking news anchor, and then I'll also be hopping on the Wisconsin Live Desk every now and again like I'm doing right now. I want to take a quick look outside here in downtown Milwaukee, where it's a much prettier sight than it has been in the last few weeks, as obviously this area just dealt with so much rain and flooding. And while certain areas like here have begun to dry out, others are still very much underwater, honestly, impacted by all that flooding. And that's the story that our very own Ashley Sears has been working on today. She's joining us live right now. Ashley, I can see you. You're in your rain boots. Tell me more about what you found today.
Yeah, Haley, we are in the village of Summit, which is in Waukesha County, just off Upper Nemahbin Lake here, and you can see this flooding. These are what the streets around here look like. We're on Delafield Road, and just behind me here is Venice Beach Road, and the water is at lake level at this point. They've been dealing with this now for almost 2 weeks, and they're very frustrated by what's taking place. Homeowners and business owners here say they're just fed up. We spoke with the owner of Panga's Bar, who says that business has been closed for 2 weeks at one of the busiest times of the year, and they are missing out on a lot of money. Their parking lot has now been turned into part of the lake. A homeowner we spoke with had to have one of her vehicles towed out of here because she just can't drive through this. Luckily, she does have a Jeep and is able to get by. But all of these homes on this road here are impacted. I want to show you, Tim, my photographer here, just to show you how much flooding is on this road. There are kayakers who have come off the lake and have turned down here, which is a residential neighborhood, and are kayaking through this really high water here. Now, homeowners are blaming this in part on the Delafield Dam. They say the outflow from that dam is causing the lake levels to remain high and for this flooding to stay put. We spoke with the village president here in Summit, who says that he has requested that the city of Delafield temporarily make some changes with that dam to stop with the outflow so that the water can recede. Now, we've reached out to the Delafield administrator and DPW director about that to see kind of what are the next steps, if anything is happening, and we're waiting to hear back from him. But residents around here say they just want to dry out. They say anything at this point to help them dry out would be a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, actually seeing kayaks in a residential neighborhood, I mean, that is not something that you see every day by any means. I know it can almost make you smile when you see something like that, but certainly those who live here doing far from it. What a headache this has been. I mean, even just taking a look at that flagpole that is just surrounded by water right now. Have you been able to find out like how these homeowners, do they feel like people know about their situation, or do they feel forgotten about in all of this flooding? I'm curious.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why they reached out to Fox 6 is they do kind of feel like their concerns aren't being ignored, or are being ignored rather. And they're at a low level. They say that they're used to a little bit of flooding around here, right? They live on a lake, so they know the dangers that go along with this. But they have never seen anything quite like this, where it's stuck around for 2 weeks, and they just want someone to do something. They've reached out via 211 to let them know about what's taking place. I'm told that the village fire chief came through this area kind of assessing what's going on. They were given some sandbags, but they really believe that if there are changes with that Delafield Dam, that these waters would recede and give them some time to dry out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, is there any sort of a timeline for them? Have they gotten any answers? It doesn't sound like it for how long this could take, Ashley.
Yeah, no answers, no timeline. It's really just a wait and see sort of game right now.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you so much taking the time to talk here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Ashley, I know they felt like their story hadn't been getting out there, so I'm very grateful for you for going out there to Summit. Actually, really quickly, Ashley, while we still have you, I know I'm newer to the Wisconsin area. To any of our viewers who have never heard of the Village of Summit, can you remind us again where exactly this is?
Yeah, this is out in Lake Country. We're near Delafield and Upper Nemahbin Lake here. So if you're familiar with Lake Country, this is out in Waukesha County. But that's kind of where we are.
Got it. Thank you so much again, Ashley, joining us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk and making sure that they get their story told and hopefully get some resources to them shortly. Well, again, I'm going to let Ashley go there. She's busy. She's reporting on the flooding there out of the Village of Summit. But I do want to just show you quickly. I know we talked a little bit about Governor Josh Stein. He's in North Carolina talking about the impacts of Hurricane Erin. The coast, thankfully, no landfall, but they still very much dealt with some riptides, some storm surges, high waves, flooding. Let's listen in a little bit to Governor Josh Stein here on what he has to say about what Erin did to the coast there.
Was really severe. Is there any plans to address that, particularly in the Buxton area, and how exposed are those homes and businesses at this point?
Well, there were a number of homes that we took an aerial tour, and there were homes that were completely surrounded by water. They were on their piers, but they were in the water, and so it's real. We cannot stop the ocean. But what we can do is move sand and try to buttress it so that when there's big tides or big waves, that it slows it down. It keeps it from having maximum damage. And we're going to continue to do everything we can. We have to work with our federal partners in the Army Corps of Engineers on beach renourishment. But this is always going to be, this issue will never go away. These are living dunes, and these folks out here know that.
Are there any plans, given those areas there, you were mentioning the homes with the ocean under the pilings and the north end of Buxton, are there any thoughts or any plans given to thinking about how perhaps there could be some incentives to property owners to move their homes back away from areas that are hotspots?
Yeah, there has been federal funding to help us deal with resilience, to try to, in these areas where there's flooding, whether it's on the shore or in a floodplain in a river, to address those properties. Unfortunately, all of that funding has been held up, the BRIC funding. So I've continued to reach out to the Department of Homeland Security to try to unlock that funding so we can put it to good use, whether it's here on the Outer Banks or in the flood zones in the rest of the state.
How much, so the funding is held up, do you have a figure on how much of that BRIC funding is involved?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's $85 million, but we can confirm that.
We'll take one last question. Yes, this is for Secretary Hopkins. Where, you said there were 2 breaches on Key Island. And I was wondering if one of them is where the locals call it the Isabel Inlet, which was, I'm sorry, the Isabel?
No, New Inlet.
And I'm just curious if it's at that same location where there was that major breach before and they built a bridge near it, over it.
So first of all, the short answer is no, but let me clarify too. When I say breached, the island has not been breached. It's the sand dune that's been breached, and then allowing the wave action in the sand to get on EC-12. So the 2 areas are right there near the park. At the entrance of the park was the southernmost area, and that's where the sign is, where the parking lot is, the visitor center, and then the other areas between there and the end of the Mark Bass Knight Bridge.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
If you're just joining us, we were listening to Governor Josh Stein out of North Carolina. He was talking about the impacts that the state saw from Hurricane Erin that made its way through not too long ago. I know we heard about, it sounds like some breached sand, not necessarily the beach that was breached, that maybe got into some roadways. They were impacted that way. Certainly a lot less damage than they saw from Hurricane Helene, which affected not the coast, but western North Carolina, kind of the other side of the state there. We are going to take another break. break, but then we are going to get you out to this. This is the Wisconsin Department of Health Services. They are talking about the measles. We have some new cases that have been confirmed recently. Where those are, what you need to know, all of that's coming up on the Wisconsin Live Desk just here. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Stay with us.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. Thanks for sticking around this Friday afternoon and spending some time with me, Haley Spittler. I know I'm a newer face to the Wisconsin Live Desk. I am one of the newer members of the FOX6 team. So excited to be here. Just got here recently from South Carolina. But before that, I was in Western Wisconsin, and I wanted to come back because, my goodness, Wisconsin, the Badger State, it is just so beautiful. Let's take a live look outside. You can actually see Lake Michigan there in the background, the clouds, the sun. It's a beautiful Friday. I know our weather experts were telling me earlier there's a small chance of some rain potentially later tonight and early tomorrow morning. But otherwise, I mean, look at your 6-day planner there. It is sunshine, sunshine, sunshine this weekend. And then Delaney and I were already talking. We get those fall temperatures starting next week, so we'll be coming into work Monday with smiles on our faces because we absolutely love the fall weather, which is one thing you honestly don't get too much of when you live in the South. So Midwest is best when it comes to getting those 4 seasons. And speaking of the Midwest and Wisconsin, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to head out and actually listen into this press conference that's happening right now. This is coming from the Wisconsin Department of Health Services, as well as the Oconto County Public Health, as they have confirmed additional cases of the measles in Oconto County. So we're going to listen in to see what they have to say as far as any medical advice, the latest on those cases, and what we can do to keep ourselves and our families safe. Okay, we might.
Again, Samantha
There
from
we go.
WBAY TV in Green Bay. Okay, moving on then to Rob Mentzer from Wisconsin Public Radio. Rob?
Thanks for the information. Thanks for doing this call. Just, I guess, since there was a notice just a few days ago about possible measles exposure elsewhere in the state, do you have any more information that you can share about the out-of-state traveler in southern Wisconsin?
No, we don't have any more information that we are able to share. The information that we've put out should, help in identify if folks were exposed and what to do. That information is for folks who were St. Croix and Rock County. You can see that there were 2 locations on August 4th. And so if folks were in those locations at those time, it's an important point to make sure that they are protected. And if not, contact their healthcare provider. Certainly, if anyone has been exposed and not sure if they were immune, it's important, and they're developing symptoms of measles, which can be cold-like, can be a runny nose, cough, red watery eyes. They may have a fever, and then the rash will probably come out a couple days later. If they have any of those symptoms, it's so important to call ahead to your healthcare provider so that they can be prepared for you and make sure that if indeed you have measles, that it's not spread to anyone else. So important to call ahead to healthcare if you think you may be coming down with measles.
Thank you. Now to Sean Kirkby from Wisconsin Health News. Sean.
Thanks for holding this. Can you give some idea of how many people may have been exposed to this, or how many folks are contact tracing? Just kind of like how many folks could be affected by this right now? Thank you.
Yeah, I don't have the numbers. Much of this investigation is happening at the local level, and they do work. How the public health piece works is that when there's a suspect or confirmed case identified, the local public health will work with the individual to identify, where they've been and who they've been in contact while they were infectious. And I will say that is a 9-day period, and it's sometimes maybe a week or 2 later, and they're not feeling well, and so they're trying to recall that. But once they've got that information, they then can go ahead and reach out to individuals who have been exposed, and that's the process that is happening right now. In some instances, there may be locations where we can't know everyone who was at the location, such as the exposures that we noted earlier in the week. We don't know who all was in some of those public places, and that's where a public notification is really needed. At this point, we're not aware that there's any need for public notification, as they are currently working through and contacting those who have been exposed to the most recent cases.
Thank you. Now, Jennifer Eisenhart from Southern Lakes Newspapers. Jennifer.
I do just want to hop on. We're going to continue listening to this press conference, but just to catch us up to speed here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, because I know we joined as this had already begun. The big announcement today is that the Wisconsin Department of Health Services and Oconto County Public Health have identified 5 additional cases of measles in the county. These additional cases, they are linked to the 9 cases confirmed in this county earlier this month, bringing that total number of cases to 14 now. So they are very much saying this indicates community spread, and they say the best thing right now is to verify your vaccination status. If you're not vaccinated and you believe that you have been exposed to the measles and you are not immune, you need to remain at home and monitor for symptoms. So again, they've found 5 additional cases of the measles, and now I want to rejoin, and we're going to continue to listen and just want to catch us all up to speed.
I will note that with measles, any exposure can be consequential because it is so highly infectious, and that a low-risk situation can quickly change based on one single additional exposure. And so that's why we are continuing to, have opportunities to help spread the word about the importance of protecting yourself One thing I omitted to note is that if you're not vaccinated, but you think you have, one option is that you can get a blood test done to see if you are immune. If you're not, you will then need a dose of the MMR vaccine. And it's not harmful to receive an additional dose of vaccine, even if you had one, but you couldn't find the documentation and aren't sure. So
So is the risk still low? Are you still classifying the risk as low?
I think we're still in the middle of the investigation, but I believe public health is contacting and working with all of those who are affected. So we don't have some of these, more public, larger exposures that we are aware of at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you. We've heard from Jennifer Eisenhart from Southern Lakes Newspapers, and she writes, I'm wondering what birth year would be considered the cutoff for being considered fully vaccinated.
So, as noted, those born before 1957 are generally considered immune, although they certainly can receive an additional dose, and many may do particularly if they're traveling internationally. But that's where because measles was so circulated and most everyone had disease during that era, we consider those immune. All other adults should have one dose. And as I said, the children generally, probably 25 years and down, have had the recommendation for about 2 doses. It's typically given, first dose is at 12 to 15 months, and the second dose is at 4 to 6 years, just before kindergarten entry.
Thank you. Now to Maddie Heim from the Green Bay Press Gazette. Maddie, another question?
Thank you. Tracy had mentioned earlier that the majority of the folks who have contracted the disease are unvaccinated. Is there any more specificity you could offer there, a percentage? I'm just trying to gauge, is that, 51%, or is it, the large majority?
Yeah, we don't have that information other than because the information is still being gathered. I will say, if you look at the national data for the 2025 outbreaks for the US, about 92% of the cases that have been identified nationally are unvaccinated. So I think that really speaks towards the effectiveness of the MMR vaccine. It's important to note that this vaccine has been used for over 50 years. I got it as a teen. My kids who are in their 20s got it when they were small, and kids today are still getting the same vaccine. This has a long track record of really providing good, robust protection, and over 575 million doses of this vaccine have been used worldwide. So it really speaks towards the robustness and the longevity of protection from this vaccine.
Thank you. Now to Kimberly Wethall from the Wisconsin State Journal. Kimberly, another question?
Yeah. You had mentioned that, typically first doses are given out, at the earliest at 12 months, but we have a 7-month-old who contracted the disease. So I guess my question is, what do you recommend parents who have really young kiddos who don't have the ability to be vaccinated yet? What kind of precautions should they be taking to prevent, their children from contracting measles before they can be vaccinated?
Yeah, it's a really great question. I think first is, as you noted, we typically don't vaccinate below 12 months of age. There may be exceptions in large outbreak settings where that could be temporarily changed and slightly younger children vaccinated, but at this point, we're not there. So what can parents do? First is make sure everyone around your children are fully vaccinated. It's important that you ensure that the home is protected, and then being mindful of, not taking children into situations where there may be ill individuals. If people are traveling, you can certainly check the CDC website. They do have information about where measles is circulating internationally, and some parents may have to make some hard decisions about perhaps deciding not to travel to a location where there have been cases of measles. I know it is anxiety provoking, and parents wish they could do something. And unfortunately, once they get to 12 months, then we can do something to protect them. And the best that we do then is ensuring that we ourselves are protected as well.
Thank you. Kyle Jones from WISC TV in Madison. Do you have a follow-up?
Can't say I do. You got everything I was looking for. Thank y'all for holding this once again.
Thank you. We'll try once again for WBAY TV in Green Bay. WBAY, do you have a question?
I do. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we
Awesome.
can.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you again for coming back around in the question. So I have kind of two questions. My first one is the last line at the end of the press release. It mentions at this time the investigation has not identified locations in public settings for which a full list of exposed people cannot be obtained. So could this, I know we're not saying where publicly, but is there like if whoever was maybe exposed, is it like just generally kind of like walking around like in a park or settings like that? And then also too, with school coming up in the next few weeks, starting up there, has there been a lot of communication with the school district?
Yeah. So, I mean, in terms of the local health department, as I mentioned, certainly works with individuals to identify those who have been exposed and to work with them. And they do that, you know, working one-on-one, connect with the individuals. And so that's where this investigation is at, is that local public health is really reaching out to all of the identified contacts to, you know, determine if they are not immune, and if they need a dose of vaccine, or if we need to have a titer done so that they can feel reassured that they are protected, or to give counsel on what to do if they do develop symptoms. So that's the stage and what's happening right now. As I mentioned, you know, in that course of the investigation, they have not identified any situations where we would need the general public to be aware and say, if you were here on this date. Hopefully that answers the first question. And then regarding schools, you know, it's MMR is a requirement for school entry. And so we know that schools do collect and that information and track it and make sure that all children have the opportunity to be vaccinated. We know certainly that, you know, some families choose not to vaccinate, but we really want to make sure that the communities where we are gathering have as high of protection as possible. With measles, you want to be north of 95% of individuals covered so that we don't have continued case transmission. And that's a pretty high number. And healthcare providers and local public health and school personnel are all working together to make sure that families know about the vaccine and know how and where to obtain it. And I guess I would add, this is where the Vaccines for Children program is so important, that families are aware that if they do need to have their children vaccinated, that can be done without cost to them.
Thank you. Now to Rob Menser from Wisconsin Public Radio. Do you have another question, Rob?
I think I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. Now to Sean Kirkby again from Wisconsin Health News. Sean.
Thank you. Do you have a breakdown of how many how many cases are kids and how many are adults?
Yeah, I don't have it, but I will say the majority, I believe, are in the school-aged area. And we will be posting more information on our website next week. So you can check there for a bit more information. As I said, we won't be releasing individual information, but aggregate information.
Thank you for that. And I know that Jennifer Eisenhart from Southern Lakes Newspapers had a follow-up question in the chat concerning, she had asked a question about the cutoff age, and then she asked about, I'm trying to get to your question. What about middle-agers above 25, but after the 63 to 67-year-old window?
Yeah, they should have at least one dose of measles, mumps, rubella containing vaccine. Depending on how old you are, they're often, because of the measles outbreak in the late 80s, a recommendation was made for individuals in universities and sort of down to receive a second dose. So many of individuals in that age group probably have 2 doses. Additionally, if you work in healthcare or if you're traveling internationally, you should have 2 doses. But if you're in that middle, as long as you've got 1 dose and you're not in one of those special high risk groups, you should be fine. with that slight caveat that if you received a dose between 63 and 67, check with your healthcare provider, as you may want to go ahead and get an additional dose just to be sure.
Thank you. And we have time for one more question, and we'll go to Samantha Cavalli from WBAY TV in Green Bay. Samantha?
I actually answered I got my 2 answers question earlier, so I'm all good.
Sounds good. Well, with that, we will conclude today's media availability. Our thanks to Tracy DeSalvo and Stephanie Schauer and all of you for participating. Any additional questions you
Alrighty,
have?
if you are just tuning in here to the Wisconsin Live Desk, we have been listening in on this press conference as the Department of Health Services did confirm an additional 5 cases of measles. They said this does indicate community spread, so a lot of really good advice there, especially how to protect your infants. Obviously, they can't get the vaccine, it sounds like, until 12 months, until they're 12 months old. So they're saying, you don't want to take them out into the public. You want to keep them safe as well. And if you have any symptoms that you're monitoring and at home, you need to stay home if you're not vaccinated. Just lots of really helpful advice there, as unfortunately they did indicate that community spread of the measles. Well, we are going to take a really quick break because we've got a lot of exciting things to get to. Once we're back, a little hint, we're going to talk Brewers, and we're even going to talk some new flights coming to Mitchell International Airport, and then we got to go to a block party. Look at so many exciting things coming up here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, so make sure and stay tuned. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. We are just nearing 2 p.m. here now, this beautiful Friday afternoon. There's nothing better than when you finally reach a Friday, especially when it's beautiful weather outside, which we absolutely have. Again, look at the 6-day planner. Mostly sunny. We do have the potential for maybe a shower or two this evening into early tomorrow morning, but then we are again sunshine and fall temperatures, and the rain's looking like it's okay right now. Again, we are monitoring just a few chances of a shower, but if you are just tuning in, we have another half hour of the Wisconsin Live Desk for you. I am Haley Spittler. I am one of the newer members here at Fox 6, and I'm excited to be with you on the Wisconsin Live Desk and on Fox Local. We've been having a lot of fun today, as well as learning some really important information, both still on the flooding out of Milwaukee, as well as the measles we were just listening into. And now we're going to get you ready to go back to school. Who doesn't love a good block party? Take a look at this. This is happening right now out of in Milwaukee. We're going to take a look at this is the community within the corridor hosting the free block party that is celebrating the season. This is all so exciting. So I hear they have food, music, games. That's an ice cream truck. We love to see some ice cream. And there's also going to be haircuts for kids to start the school year in style, as well as access to the local food pantry, which is so important for those who are in need of some food to be able to grab some before that school year starts. This is, I guess, the Milwaukee Police ice cream truck. You know, I am newer here to Wisconsin, so I've never even known that our police department potentially has an ice cream truck. I love this. Delaney, bringing you in already. What flavor ice cream would you want out of that ice cream truck?
I'd go for cookie dough. What about you?
Cookie dough, that's a good one. I am pretty much always wanting some cookies and cream ice cream, unless it's Ben and Jerry's, and then I always do the half-baked. Have you ever had half-baked?
Yeah, I love the half-baked.
Oh my gosh, I unfortunately could eat the whole thing in one sitting. Absolutely delicious. All right, so yeah, this is happening right now. Delaney, could you work to actually find out how long this is going till so that people know if they should make their way out here? And Delaney's gonna work on finding that answer for me, and when we have it, I'll let you guys know. But in the meantime, actually, in just a few minutes, we're going to be able to go to this to hear an interview and learn more about it together, which is what the Wisconsin Live Desk is all about. But in the meantime, I want to head outside while she gets that interview all set up to the Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport, where you can kind of see in the background some planes actually on the runway. And the reason why I wanted to show you this is we got to talk about Southwest Airlines. We learned this yesterday, and you guys have absolutely loved this news online. Southwest has just announced they are expanding their nonstop service from Milwaukee. So what we've learned is it's now going to be flying to San Diego, to Austin, to Miami. I think I read even Cancun. Let me pull up some of these details for you here. So we got some nonstop flights daily to San Diego. That is going to start October 2nd. Then you can nonstop fly to Miami. That will be in March. Again, those are the seasonal ones. I think that's also when Cancun would be starting. And then we've also got some daily flights heading out to Midway. Obviously, that's in Chicago, also starting next March. I know some people make a face when I say that they're going to be heading out to Chicago because you think that's a 90-minute drive. That's such an interesting choice. The reason why you would fly from Milwaukee to Chicago is if you were then going to connect to somewhere else. I know sometimes it can be such a hassle to have to drive to Chicago and then pay to park your car. So a lot of people like to, if they can, just stay local. Probably have that friend, that family member drive them to the airport, fly out of Milwaukee to Chicago to then make it to their ultimate destination. I do want to ask Delaney, while I work on getting us back to that interview, where would you want to fly to, Delaney? You can fly anywhere too. It doesn't have to be the flights that we just talked about.
Maybe somewhere in Europe.
Ooh, okay, I love that answer. That's a great answer. I would want to fly to Napa. I don't know. I feel like at some point I want to go to California and go on a nice little vineyard tour. But you could also right now go out to a block party. So we are going to listen in and now see if we can learn a little bit more.
Yeah, it's been an unexpected journey, not one that we were hoping to go on, but working with the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources, WDNR, the city of Milwaukee, and just kind of going through that whole process. Understanding that we had some work to do on our end to kind of enhance our system and make sure that everything was up to par where it needed to be, and so it was a long process of correcting some things, doing some additional rounds of testing, retesting, just going through the whole recommended process. Took longer than we thought, but ultimately we had great partners and professionals helping us along the way. And to be able to get to this spot feels like a huge win. Of course, did it take a little longer than we were hoping for? Yes, but to be able to be in partnership with those great organizations and to have this going on today, it was well worth the wait and well worth the effort. Well, we hope it signifies to the community that we don't just want to be here and be kind of a standalone apartment building. We want to be a neighbor. We want to be part of the community. We want to be a place where people can gather, a place where people can find resources. We want to provide housing for affordable levels for all kinds of different families at different income levels, and really just say, hey, we're more than just a housing provider. We're a member and a proactive member of this community, and so please, come on into our building, come on into our parking lot. Let's be part of kids going back to school or of food shelf handoffs, all of the above, whatever that can mean. And so it just says, hey, we're here, we're finally open, people have moved in, and we're excited to be here.
Anything else that you like that?
I don't think so. No, I think that covers it. We're really excited to be here, excited to be kind of at the end of this journey, and we'll be here for the long term. This is not something where we're just showing up and then leaving town. We'll be here for the next 15, 20 plus years operating this building, and probably a lot longer than that. So I'm really excited to convert what was an unused industrial facility, kind of run down, kind of vacant, and now it's housing 200 families, as well as some community service facility spaces, a big kind of gymnasium, basketball court area. So just to see not just the transformation for the community, but just of the buildings, and architecturally what it was, what it now is, taking something that was unused, breathing new life into it, and what a cool way to have people living here and celebrating here and doing lots of community engagement stuff here. Really cool.
That brings up a good point because, housing, housing prices so to be able to make something old and something new, I think is really cool.
It is, and I'll tell you, we're doing virtually no advertising, marketing. We've had hundreds of people reach out on a weekly basis to express interest in potentially living here, and so there's clearly a need for it in the area, and so to be able to provide and help meet that need is really satisfying. Is really something that we're proud to be part of. Great, yeah. Hopefully you can hear me okay and stuff with the microphone.
Alrighty, we were just listening to Shane Lefebvre. He is with Community with the Corridor, kind of talking about them being in their new location as they host this block party. Again, this is happening right now. Our producer, Delaney, she's the best. She always has the answers. We did learn it's going until 5 p.m. tonight. So again, this is completely free to attend. It is kind of celebrating the reopening of the East Building to residents. Community within the corridor is all about providing affordable housing to those who need it here in Milwaukee. But this event's also all about having fun. Food, music, games, giveaways, and more. I think these are caramel apples they're giving away, which really makes me think fall, makes me think back to school. Look at these kiddos. They are having a blast there. I know they're also offering, look at this. I bet this is clothes to go back to school in style. I think I heard there's going to be haircuts at some point, even some local food available from the local food pantry. So just making sure that every kid can go to school in style and have everything they need, their backpack, their clothes, their food. And what a cool opportunity for those who might not be able to afford it on their own to still feel like they're going shopping and getting everything that they need for their kids. Because I know when I would go to school, I had so much fun getting to pick out my backpack and my school supplies, and everyone deserves that chance to do that. Again, there's also an ice cream truck here, which I think is a blast. They're scootering, they're having fun. This again goes on until 5 p.m. tonight. Thanks so much to our photojournalist there for taking us on a tour of everything happening at that block party, which sounds like so much fun. Coming up, we still got some more exciting things to talk about, including the Brew Crew. They're about to start their next series. They'll be taking on the San Francisco Giants at home. We'll have more details on what you can expect from those next 3 games, including something really special that's coming up on Sunday. And then we have to talk, I think we've got Starbucks coming up and a bizarre trending story that you're not going to want to miss, I promise. It has had our newsroom laughing and talking all morning long. It has to do with the 9-volt battery. I think that's all I'm going to tell you right now. You're definitely not going to want to miss that. So make sure you stay tuned here to the Wisconsin Live Desk. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Stay with us.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. It is Friday, it is 2:12, and we've got to talk baseball. For starters, though, I'm Haley. I know I'm a newer face to the Wisconsin Live Desk. I just started here a few weeks ago, moved to Milwaukee. I am originally from Chicago. So speaking of baseball, I've got some bad news. I am a Cubs fan. I'm actually a pretty big Cubs fan. I love baseball, though, and I do love, even though I'm not necessarily the biggest Brewers fan, I do love that I now live extremely close to a Major League Baseball stadium. Of course, taking a live look right here at AmFam, because the Brewers, they are back in Milwaukee. They just came off their series with the Chicago Cubs, but now they are at home taking on the San Francisco Giants, which the Giants do have a lot of losses this year, so I feel like the Brewers could pull off this series. I definitely feel like they could walk away victorious. Of course, they've just been on a roll. They lost a couple of the games to the Cubs, but before that, they won 14 straight, which is no easy feat, making the record 80-48. That is absolutely incredible. So, hey, if you want to head out to AmFam, today's game is going to be at 7:10 p.m. Then tomorrow, it's at 6:10. But when you might really want to go out there would be Sunday. That is when they were doing the Bob Uecker celebration. So here's everything you got to know. It's obviously going to be at American Family Field. The gates are going to open at 10:30, and they're going to have a ceremony to honor the late Bob Uecker at 12:15, and then they also will have some one-of-a-kind Uecker memorabilia that should be on display. I know you guys might not be the biggest fans of the Cubs, but I did think it was very classy of them last night to have Bob Uecker sing the seventh inning stretch, playing an old video of him, as so many people continue to just mourn the legend that was Bob Uecker. But I know that whenever I go out to a baseball stadium, I always got to talk like food. Delaney, do you have a go-to baseball? I asked Delaney if she was a Brewers fan. She said she likes to go to games more for the social setting, but do you also like to go for the food?
Yeah, I like the food.
Okay, what do you like to grab when you're at a baseball game?
I feel like you have to get a hot dog or a brat.
Right? I completely agree. If you're going to the baseball game, you're definitely getting a hot dog. And here's where I'm the worst Chicagoan in the world. I put ketchup on my hot dog, which is technically not allowed. But I do it anyway because I'm a rule breaker. What can I say? Maybe baseball is not your thing. Maybe you prefer some NASCAR, which this is exciting, you guys. IndyCar Series is returning to Milwaukee this Sunday. You can watch it all, of course, right here on Fox 6. They've got, even before Sunday, the practice and qualifying. That's going to happen on Saturday, the Milwaukee Mile 250. Do you like NASCAR, Delaney? This is my chance to just learn all about Delaney, you guys, during the Wisconsin Live Desk.
I don't know anything about NASCAR.
Okay, yeah, I also don't know a ton about NASCAR, but I do think it's really cool when they are in your city, and so I would absolutely watch this. And the good news, I mean, it's on Fox 6, but if you're a really big NASCAR fan, you're going to want to get Fox 1. I was talking about this earlier in the show, but in case you missed it, yesterday Fox 1 officially launched. If you're wondering what it is a premium subscription streaming service that includes both live and on-demand content. So you've got your NASCAR, your football, your baseball, your college hoops. You also, though, have 24/7 news. That's in the form of Fox News, Fox Business, Fox Weather, and your local Fox stations like Fox 6. And then what Delaney and I were talking about, too, you also get your Fox Entertainment TV shows, which can be Family Guy and Hell's Kitchen and The Masked Singer. I was asking if Farmer Wants a Wife was potentially on the app, which, you know what, maybe we can learn this together, you guys. That's what the Live Desk is really all about. I did go ahead and download the app, so I'm going to go to it right now, Fox 1, and let's see if we can find out Oh, it needs me to log in again. Okay, well, I'm not going to remember my username or my password right now. Hopefully you guys have a little bit of a better experience. It's really easy to do that, but I just have the worst memory. So I'll log in during a commercial break, and I will check that out because I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. That would not be very cool of me. But I know you might be a little confused between Fox One and Fox Local. So if you have Fox Local, that is still very much a thing, and it is still very much free. Nothing is changing with Fox Local. That's still your free, live, breaking, and local news. But if you're wanting to get some of those national news like Fox News, Fox Business, Fox Weather, as well as those TV shows and those sports, that's where you're going to go to Fox One. There are a few different tiers, but the standard one is $19.99 per month. But you can also get a free 7-day subscription. So try it out. See if you like it. See if it has the shows you want. See if it's a new addition to your lineup of streaming services. I always say, a free trial can't hurt. If it's free, it is for me. So we love that. Well, we have all of our food segments coming up. We've waited until the end of the show because I was really excited to talk about them and I needed something to look forward to. So we will absolutely be bringing those to you coming up here in just 2 minutes on the other side of the break. Stick with us.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. Got about 10 minutes before I'm going to leave you, but it has been, honestly, a fast 2 hours spending time on the Live Desk today. My name is Haley. I know I'm a newer face here to the Live Desk. I just recently moved to Milwaukee, but I was moving back to Wisconsin. So I started my career actually in western Wisconsin, and I'm originally from not even too far, Chicago, but I did spend the last 3 years in South Carolina, and now I'm here. Midwest is best. In Milwaukee, and it's been really nice to know such a warm welcome from the FOX6 team. So hopefully you'll see me here on the Wisconsin Live Desk every now and again. I've certainly had a good time today. Obviously, if this is your first time tuning into the Wisconsin Live Desk, we just like to bring you to different activities that are happening live. That could be locally here in Milwaukee, it could be across the Wisconsin, it could be across the country, it could even be internationally. And I have actually been watching a situation that's happening right now in New York. So I just want to bring that up very quickly here. It is a very sad situation, a tour bus crash in New York. So here's what we know so far. A tour bus returning to New York City from Niagara Falls. It crashed Friday, killing and hurting multiple people. That's according to the police. This is on I-90 near Pembroke, which we're told is about 25 miles east of Buffalo. At this time, there's still a lot more to learn. They say it's a very active scene, which we can see for ourselves. We see certainly police, ambulances, a lot of people on scene, and just a really heartbreaking situation to hear of coming out of New York. Again, we just know a tour bus that was returning to New York City from Niagara Falls. It crashed earlier today, killing and hurting multiple people. They are asking right now for prayer for those victims. So we are going to continue to work to get you some more information on what exactly went down, if we can figure out how many people have lost their lives, how many people are hurt. Any updates that we can get, we'll continue to monitor that here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Never a really easy way to transition from something that is so tragic and devastating as that news, but we are going to talk now about some new opportunities here in Milwaukee, which for me involves one of my favorite things, and that is coffee. They have some new items at Starbucks right now. They're only available at 400 stores throughout the country, and good news for us, some of those are here in Milwaukee. So the whole kind of point of these new drinks is they revolve around coconut water. Delaney, I'm going to bring you in so much these last 7 minutes because these are all some exciting things to talk about. Are you a coconut water person to begin?
I don't mind it,
Okay.
but I don't drink it or drink things with it regularly.
I am not one that has tested out a ton of, coconut water to drink or even to have in my house or in my coffee, but I don't mind it. So they're continuing to just test these. So what you have here is your cocoa matcha, which I would be confused because I would think they're talking about chocolate when I hear cocoa. And then the cocoa cold brew. Which of these two is the one that you would try?
I would try the cocoa matcha. What about you?
Really? Okay, so I would try the cold brew. I was going to say I don't like matcha, but you know what? I've actually just never tried it. So I feel like I can't say that I don't like something if I've never given it a fair chance, but I do love cold brew because I love caffeine. So that's probably the one that I would try. Maybe we should look up in the Starbucks app where these are close to us because I know they're in the Milwaukee area, and then we will try them because they also have it says they both come with a layer of cold foam, which I love a good cold foam. What's your go-to Starbucks order, Delaney?
Either a vanilla iced chai or I get the vanilla nitro cold brew.
Okay, I like it, Delaney. I love the brown sugar shaken espresso with oat milk, or I also am a really big fan of an iced chai, but I've recently been making it a dirty chai, which you're like, what is that? That's when you add espresso to it because I get here early, I'm a morning girly, I need my caffeine. So that's what I've been trying out lately. We also have some interesting food to talk about that's trending right now, and it, as I mentioned, revolves around a 9-volt battery, which is what I have in my hands, which I don't use that often in my life anymore. They were saying it's really big in toys for your kids, as well as obviously your fire alarms, your smoke detectors. Delaney, let's just pull it up. Let's talk about why we're talking about this. It's a new flavor. Delaney's gonna try and pull it up because I can't do it. Potato chips, a 9-volt battery potato chip flavor. This is bizarre. This is from a new company, Rewind, which I was looking into it. It's in the Netherlands. It's a Dutch brand, but they launched earlier this year, and I just thought, why? There's no way that would be good. But then it begged the question in the newsroom, have you ever licked a 9-volt battery? Which people were saying, yeah, it's how you test it to know if it's good, if it's still usable or not. And I mean, I have not licked one of these anytime recently, but I'm sure that when I was a kid I did. But do you know who has done it very, very recently? Delaney. Delaney, tell us all about your experience this morning.
When I got in, Haley and then 2 of our managers were sitting near my desk, and they asked if I'd ever licked a 9-volt, and I hadn't, so they gave me one to lick, and it just zaps your tongue.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
It's just a nice little zing, well, I don't know if it's nice, but it's certainly a thing that happens. So I guess that's what, if you're going to have these 9-volt battery potato chips, you're just going to get that little like maybe zap of flavor, a zing, an electric kind of jolt, but we don't know. We do want to try them. I did reach out, as I mentioned, they are in the Netherlands, so they're not available here in U.S. stores, but I reached out on my social media to see if we could get some because our newsroom is so invested in this story. And I will absolutely keep you all in the know because we need to try these now that Delaney's at least tried looking at a 9-volt battery. I do feel like I should just say that Wisconsin Live Desk does not recommend doing that, but I also would say we don't discourage it. It's a life experience. You know what else is a life experience? Going to the Mexican Fiesta. Abril Preciado joined us earlier in the Wisconsin Live Desk, showing us around. This is happening today until midnight. It's at the Henry Meyer Festival Park. You can enjoy live music, art, food, and more. She was showing us some of the food that's available that the cook was telling us he cooks for 2 hours, this meat that looked delicious. So you know if it's going to be cooked over the course of 2 hours, it's absolutely going to be delicious. And speaking of delicious, a cream puff. You gotta love the original cream puffs. But unfortunately, due to the flooding, we obviously didn't get the last day of the Wisconsin State Fair. So you might have missed your chance to get your cream puffs on or to use your voucher if you had one. So they have opened a drive-in. This is happening now until 5 p.m. So you still got 2.5 hours to go through this. Get your cream puff on. You can enter through Gate 4 or Gate 5 to get your cream puffs, which, Delaney, I haven't gotten a cream puff since I moved back to Wisconsin. So I feel like I got to do that, don't I?
Yeah, you definitely have to go get one.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I don't know if I can, like, I always forget how good a cream puff is until I have it again. But it's such a good option. Like whenever I'm at like an event and there's a dessert table and a cream puff is one of the things, always grab it, never regret it because they are absolutely delicious. And I feel like they're just, a State Fair staple. So I love that they have opened this up and given us all the opportunity to go get our cream puffs because we missed our last chance there, the last day of the Wisconsin State Fair. Well, hey, it's been a blast hanging out with you here on the Wisconsin Live Desk the last 2 hours. We'll be back on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody.
And McNeil into center field, a base hit.
For a season that started out slow.
On a hop,
The Milwaukee Brewers are having
Brewers have hung a dozen on Pittsburgh.
a ball.